This is the Lex Beyond podcast by Lexicon Labs. I'm Lex.
And I'm Bianca. We are changing things up a bit today. Instead of our standard format, we're doing a quick hit. A briefing on a legal opinion that dropped just a couple of days ago in the case KalshiEX LLC v. Orgel. Basically, a federal court in Tennessee just granted a preliminary injunction, effectively allowing Kalshi to keep operating down there.
Right, yeah. And it is a significant win for Kalshi, no doubt. But if you look at the analysis in Tennessee Reflections by Lexicon Labs, the win is actually the least interesting part.
Yeah.
The real story is the reasoning. The analysis suggests that while the state of Tennessee was trying to block Kalshi, they might have accidentally argued that their own sports betting industry is illegal.
Which is just a massive unintentional backfire. So the mission for this briefing is to trace that logic, How exactly does a state legal argument turn around and bite its own tail like that?
Well, it starts with definitions. The court had to decide what Kalshi actually is, right? Because the Kalshi argues they trade event contracts.
Right, and the court opinion gives us a solid definition for that. An event contract is a derivative based on a specified event. So like the level of snowfall from a winter storm or, the dollar amount of hurricane damage. It's essentially a financial instrument.
Exactly. But then the court looked at Kalshi's sports contracts, betting on who wins a game or how many rebounds a particular player gets. And the court said, essentially, this looks really familiar. They applied the duck test.
The duck test? Wait, like the actual duck test?
Yeah, the court actually footnoted Justice Sotomayor on this. When I see a bird that walks like a duck, swings like a duck, and quacks like a duck, I call that bird a duck.
I love that.
Right. The court's point was that, to a user, Kalshi looks, acts, and feels exactly like a typical sportsbook.
Okay, so Kalshi is a duck. It's gambling. That seems like a total win for Tennessee's argument, though, doesn't it? Because they wanted to regulate Kalshi just like they regulate all the big sports books?
You would think so. But this is where the Lexicon Labs analysis spots the trap. If Kalshi is a duck, meaning an event contract is effectively a sports wager, then the logic has to go both ways.
Oh, so traditional sports books are also ducks.
Exactly. They're essentially offering event contracts.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. If they are the exact same thing, they fall under the same definition. Why is that a huge problem for the state?
Because of the Commodity Exchange Act, the CEA, under federal law. Event contracts, which are technically swaps, are incredibly strictly regulated.
Right.
They can only be traded on exchanges regulated by the CFTC. Those are known as designated contract markets, or DCMs.
Ah, I see where this is going. Are the sports books licensed by Tennessee? The big names paying millions in state taxes, are they designated contract markets?
No, they are not. They are state licensed, absolutely, but they are not federally regulated exchanges.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. If event contracts are sports wagers and only federally regulated exchanges may offer event contracts, fill in the blanks.
The state of Tennessee accidentally highlighted that its own sports betting regime violates the Commodity Exchange Act. Illegal swap trading has been going on in Tennessee for a while now, under the guise of state licensing.
That is wild. They basically tried to catch Kalshi and caught themselves.
Yeah. The source material uses a really great analogy for this, too. Kalshi went into court claiming to be a Mockingbird, a sophisticated derivative. Tennessee pointed at them and said, no, you're a duck. You're just gambling.
And the court looked at the reflection and decided they are both ducks.
Precisely. And since only a federally regulated DCM is allowed to trade ducks, the state licensed operators are technically completely non-compliant. By insisting that Kalshi was just a sports book, Tennessee forced a ruling that suggests all sports books are actually dealing in federally regulated derivatives.
So in trying to issue a simple cease and desist to one company, Tennessee potentially illegitimized their own tax-paying sports books.
It is the ultimate irony.
It really is. So what does this all mean for you listening? Think about this. If the court is right that sports bets are event contracts, does this mean every single state-sponsored sports book in the country is actually an illicit federal derivatives exchange? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for listening to this briefing.